evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Playmakers Corner. I am Alexis Hutchinson, the sports editor for the Star of Zion. My partner for tonight, Dr. Fight, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
I'm Dr. Fight. Also, I'm not a sports editor, but I love the pastor Steel Hill Amen Zion Church. Amen.
Okay, so this is my favorite time of year. I don't know about you, but this is my favorite time of year. Welcome to the Courtside Chat March Madness edition. We will be going through our brackets, our Cinderella stories. But first, Dr. Fight has some news for you about Clinton College.
Hey, producer, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Bounces around and off to the races.
Cam Shannon with the M1, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, today, Clinton College played in the Elite 8 of the NCCAA men's basketball Division I championships, and now they are heading to the Final Four. They won today in overtime.
Let's
so we
go.
want to thank Coach Sloan and Dr. McCorn, the president of Clinton College, and the Clinton College Golden Bears for the wonderful work. I'm repping them tonight. Go Golden Bears in the building, making history.
Yes, that's a big thing. So good luck. Continue to win. Let's go. So we're going to talk about March Madness. We're going to talk about how the players get to college. So let's talk about how some of our players have went through the AAU circuit, how they've gone on to college, received the full ride. Now they're on this bigger stage, right?
Right.
And so we are now excited to see them performing. Who are some of your favorites that you're ready to see right now?
Oh man, I'm saying teams, players. Oh my goodness, it's a lot of lookout stars. Caleb Love from Arizona, who transferred from Chapel Hill, which is my squad.
Player of the year.
And it came player of the year. Oh my goodness, and that opened up. RJ Davis, he was player of the year in the ACC.
Yeah.
And so I mean, two stars that are in the same bracket that can potentially be a Final Four, Elite 8 matchup. I mean, it's looking kind of, the storylines of the ACC. You know what I'm saying? That's what we get into.
A good article. It makes for a good article. It makes for a good build up for the broadcasters.
That's right.
I can't wait. On the women's side, now, we saw the SEC championship. We saw South Carolina pull it out.
They pulled it out.
Now, there are two different sides of the bracket. However, LSU has some tough slate to go before they can get to see South Carolina again.
That's right.
But we'll get there. So let's talk about your predictions first with the men's bracket. Let's talk about your predictions.
All right. So, men, it's always about Cinderella. You know what I'm saying? What Cinderella that you going to predict? You know what I mean? You got to understand the history of the NCAA tournament. There's always seeming to be that one team that makes it further than what you would want them to make it because of your brackets. And so I'm looking at a sleeper team. I'm looking at, I don't know if they're a sleeper. They are number one seed in the tournament.
Okay.
But I am looking at Purdue. A lot of people ain't talking about that ZB kid. I mean, that 7-footer, you can't defend that. Unless you got another one, you can't defend it.
I'm not gonna go get you. My dad went to Purdue, so he's a Boilermaker. So he's kind of talking junk right now. So he's talking junk. I got you. So my sleeper, they're not necessarily a sleeper. What we want to talk about Cinderella's is Shaka Smart. He came from VCU, went to Texas. Now he's at Marquette. I got them going all the way to the Final Four. I'm not gonna lie.
Now that's a bold prediction.
That's my sleeper. That's my sleeper.
But I can agree with you there only because it's Shaka. Only because when you saw what he did at VCU, here it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm telling you the truth. UConn, top to bottom, is the best team. Now, I will say this. My Tar Heels played them early in the season and lost by like 11 points.
They did.
Early in the season. A lot of people saying that if it's another matchup, it might be a little closer. Because that's the championship team that got a few good starters back from that championship team. They're making another run. They've added a lot of depth with freshmen that's come in. So wonderful, wonderful job by the UConn Huskies. I can't take nothing away from them. But if they see my heels in the Final Four,
Tar.
heels.
Okay, I'm a Tar Heel fan.
If they see
Tar
my
Heel
heels, they see my heels. It's gonna be a different game, and I'm gonna have my popcorn ready and the TV turned up loud because I'm telling you that is going to be a battle of all ages. But they got to get there 1st.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get there first, and that's where when you come in with this play of Marquette coming off a good tournament, Big East tournament, and they are playing good basketball. They lost to a great team in the championship. You look at Chapel Hill; they lost to a sleeper team in NC State.
But what do they always say? They've never won an ACC tournament championship the same year they won a national title. So
right.
It could happen. It's looking good. It's looking good.
And this is a fact here. The last time the Tar Heels won the championship, they were in the Western bracket. So guess what? We're in the Western bracket, baby. My good friend Daryl Scott. I know he's cringing right now. He is a Duke fan. And I know in his bracket, he probably got Duke going all the way and winning the championship, cutting down the nets.
I have Houston beating Duke, so.
Really? Okay, that'll be a good matchup if that actually happens. But you know, Duke historically over the last 3 seasons, 3 tournaments, hadn't made it past the second round.
You know, the last time they went to the Final Four, you know what happened. Yeah,
last time they went to the Final Four, you know,
the Tar Heels.
we gave Coach K that retirement early.
Good night. Good night. I actually, because we saw UConn, we were talking about UConn. I kind of have Bruce Pearl and Auburn beating UConn.
What?
That's a bold prediction. Bruce Pearl, he comes through in the end. He's a coach. He is a coach.
He's a coach. He was in Illinois, and he stepped up his game, went to Auburn, and has brought that team to the marvelous light. And they play good defense. I don't know if they'll score enough points to beat UConn, but they play good defense.
As long as you play defense. Defense wins championships. That's what I was taught.
Well, you got to put the ball in the basket too, though. You got to put it in, and UConn can put it in the basket.
They can. That's
better than anybody.
So you gonna show us your bracket now, so we can see.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a couple of things here. I'm gonna show you my bracket, but I gotta log in and show everybody. So we want you to
start
sign
from
up.
The beginning.
We want you to sign up for this, and you can create an account. It's real simple to create an account. It's free. You can see that's my email if you want it. That's my ESPN email.
Oh, so don't send an email to him that way. Okay, do not send an email.
Don't email me there. But
the pastor will not see it. The pastor will not see it.
When they ask you for an email, that's the one I give them. All right. So once you get in, you make your picks. As you can see, UConn is the number 1 team in the East. And you have Houston over here is the number 1 in the South. And you make your picks. As you make your picks, it will automatically, like if I select Stetson, we know that's not going to happen. The only team to lose to a number 1 seed, that was a number 1 seed to lose, was Virginia a few years back. But we know this is not going to happen. But if I deselected, you notice that Stetson goes over here. But I'm going to reselect it again because I don't want to mess up my brackets. Select UConn. Now, as Alexa just said, she has Auburn winning this game. She has Auburn winning this game here, right here. She has Auburn winning this game. However, I'm going to go ahead and select UConn. Now, this is where my bracket gets a little different because once I select UConn, if I go down here to my Final Four, you'll notice Iowa State is in my Final Four. It's because I have Iowa State beating UConn and not Auburn. I have Arizona making it. And as we can see, Arizona defeats the Tar Heels to make it to the Final Four. On my other side of the bracket, I have Purdue and Tennessee. I have Purdue beating Tennessee, Arizona beating the Heels. Let me go back up here to the Final Four. Here you go. Houston and Purdue. I have Purdue winning a nail biter because they play better defense, and Houston proved against Iowa State that they cannot play defense at times. Okay. So as you said, Alexa, defense win ball games. Purdue brings it out. Arizona's in the championship yet again, but Purdue this time comes out on top and win. In order to get a tiebreaker, you put the number combined total of the score of the championship game for a tiebreaker. If there's two players in the league that has the same score, that's the tiebreaker. And then, as you can see, you have Purdue right there as my championship pick. Yes.
So you have Caleb Love losing another championship.
Well, he can't lead the Tar Heels and then come out victorious.
Okay. Yeah. So my final four, and for the men, I have Auburn, UNC, Marquette, and South Carolina.
South Carolina, okay.
I had a rematch between them and Tennessee, and then they beat Tennessee, and then they beat Purdue. That's kind of my other sleeper too. And then Marquette beat South Carolina, and Marquette and UNC play for the championship. And so I was probably biased, and I had UNC winning. But
well, see, let me just say this: every year I go with the ACC, and they let me down every single year.
Well, they have the least amount of teams this year. One of the least amount.
They do, but still, I can get a little ACC heavy. And I know I'm a lover of the Hills, so I probably got them going pretty deep. I said at the beginning of the season, I felt like there was a Sweet 16 team, but now looking at how they played and came number one in the ACC. As a matter of fact, I think pre-ACC polls had them like 7 or 8 in the ACC, and they ended up winning the ACC. So they've obviously outdone the odds from the preseason, and they've gelled together well. So that's my Heels. The only team that I think can beat them is themselves.
That is true. That is completely true. We've been talking Power 5. Do we have any mid-majors, sleepers that you want to talk about? Any mid-majors?
That's a good one. For the men, a mid-major, I like the way BYU always comes to the tournament. They seem to always come, prepared. I don't know that they're in a tough part of the bracket. They're a number 6 seed. You got to also look at your 12-5 matchups. Your San Diego State's versus UAB. That's going to be a good one. I think UAB is going to take it. I think that's the 1-12-5 matchup that the 12 will win the game.
Okay.
You got Wisconsin versus James Madison. I don't think James Madison has enough power.
No, I love JMU though. I love JMU.
Yeah, I do too. And you got Gonzaga going against McNeese, which is, I don't think McNeese has enough to overpower Gonzaga. In the last final 12-5 matchup is St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon. And I don't think Grand Canyon has enough for St. Mary's. So the only other one I see UAB overtaking San Diego State. And I gotta if the producer can put that a stat that I got up. I saw this interesting stat today.
And I will tell you, I did pick UAB too.
Okay, I got an interesting stat. Matter of fact, I think I can put it up.
Okay.
I think my savvy on this thing is good.
But the Playmakers Corner, we're coming with stats, factual stats.
We come with stats. Okay, there we go. I want to share this stat with everybody, let you know at least one number 12 seed has defeated a number 5 seed in 32 of 38 tournaments. That is a stat for you. Matter of fact, going all the way back to 1985. Only 6 tournaments did not have at least one number 12 seed beating a number 5 seed. So the odds are on at least one of these 12s coming out of the first round.
UAB.
That's what I say too. I say UAB. That's what I say. But who's your mid-major?
So I'm probably gonna go with UAB. I mean, they're not really a mid-major, but I kind of rock with TCU a little bit. They're the underdog story in their conference. So but UAB, I have them playing Auburn, and that's when they lose. But they'll win the first game.
Okay. Well, that's why they play the game.
Yeah. And I have Dayton winning too.
Oh, wow. The Flyers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, they play the first 4 in Dayton. So,
Mhm.
So now we're going to talk women's. I think personally, the women's tournament is a little bit more talked about this year than the men. We have a lot of faces. We have a lot of high profile players.
Mhm.
I'm just excited. I'm really excited. I'm ready. Paige, Juju, Camilla Cardosa, Caitlin, Kiki. I'm ready for them all.
Yes. Listen, the girls' game, the women's game has so many storylines. And I think it's all because of how the regular season played out. I mean, when you look at the fight, everybody talking about the fight between LSU and South Carolina. Will they be able to get back to that matchup? But we have in the same bracket a rematch potentially of Iowa and LSU. Caitlin Clark versus the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese. I mean,
but before they get there, Haley, she got to play Louisville if Louisville wins. So that's another story on their way to face Iowa.
That's right. Everybody want their piece of Caitlin Clark. Everybody want their piece.
Game very much in demand.
You still got the NCAA tournament coming. This girl's going after a national championship.
USC hasn't had a championship since the 80s, trying to bring that winning culture back to SC and LA.
Is South Carolina the new dynasty in women's college basketball?
The women have always had to do the little extra things to bring attention to the game. And we're okay with that.
How will she go for history?
Half it.
Comes up and in.
Sets her feet. That'll have the last shot. Hit it for the win.
Neal finds Sydney Parrish for 3.
There was a time, maybe 10, 15, or 20 years ago, that we're just a sideshow. We're just out there because the equality of it. Now we're in demand.
Dawn to Dawn, I'm telling you.
The GOAT.
She's etching her name on the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball coaches.
And they're giving her a statue.
It's just, you got to. When you think of women's basketball, obviously you think of Pat Summitt. You think of Jean Orium. But next in line, you got to think of Dawn Staley. I mean, what she has done for the women's game, college basketball, and just the women's basketball scene, period.
Yes.
I mean, she's the GOAT.
I mean, and does it with poise and grace.
Yes. And I do want to say this in comparison to when that whole scuffle happened between, South Carolina and LSU, she, in my opinion, was the coach that handled it better.
She did. I will agree with you.
She handled it way better. But what Kim Mulkey did was add fuel to the fire.
She needed that to do it for her team.
Want to see. Right. and this is another storyline. So USC has 2 players that won't play the first game. One player won't play at all.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know of the fight, the player is suspended. And then the second player has announced right before the tournament that she's entering the transfer portal. And rumor has it that LSU is one of her top schools to be able to go to. So that adds a whole nother dynamic to all of this.
I'm not surprised. You got to throw a little salt on salt on the wound, I'm
excited. With all these storylines.
Yes.
With all these storylines, who you got?
So I'm having bring up my final, my bracket. If you want to save your bracket, print it out so you can have it later to pin on the refrigerator after you beat your whole family. This is what it looks like because I'm going to put mine on the refrigerator. I might take it to my dad's house, my family house, because I didn't pick Purdue. So I might take the man over there. But I can share my women's bracket with you. I have, so my final 4 is South Carolina, Tennessee, Iowa, and USC.
Ooh, USC.
I believe in Juju.
I can see that.
I believe in Juju. Now, you know, I will say, I can't wait, to see before the Final Four. I can't wait to see USC and UConn. Paige and Juju, buckets on buckets the entire game.
Mm.
And then I have Iowa knocking off LSU. Sorry to the Bayou Barbie. I think Iowa might be able to pull it out. Love Angel. But I saw a stat the other day that said she's only played over 30 minutes in 3 games. 2 of those games were against South Carolina.
Wow. And they lost those games.
So the end of the game matters. You remember the first time they played South Carolina, she fouled out.
That's right.
So, and of course, I have Tennessee playing Stanford, and I have the legacy of Pat Summitt coming through in those players, and they're going to beat Stanford. If you can roll the play of Kiki, I love Kiki from Stanford. She's been showing out lately. She's been doing her thing. It's even though I have them losing. I'm sorry. My big matchup is Ole Miss versus Notre Dame. 2 Black women coaches.
2. That's right. That's right.
And I love Coach Yo. I love Coach Yolette. She's a friend of my sister's. Shout out to my sister. She's the AD at FAMU.
Okay.
But I actually have Ole Miss beating Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame, but I have them beating them. Of course, South Carolina, I feel like, even though they're going to play the Tar Heels the next round, I got South Carolina, the Battle of the Carolinas. I'm excited. And then I have South Carolina and USC playing each other for the national title. I think Juju can beat Caitlin, even with Caitlin shooting from half court.
Oh, well, Caitlin is going to be the talk of this tournament just from the beginning. But so who's your sleeper here?
So
what upset are you predicting?
I don't know if it's technically a sleeper, but I got Virginia Tech coming out. I believe in Virginia Tech. I have them. They're going to lose to Juju, of course, but I have them kind of, they've been balling. If they play like we talked about UNC, if they play their game, they could win.
I got Virginia Tech making it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah. Okay.
Going against USC.
Yep. And that's what I have. I had Juju, getting them. Of course, Texas, they're going to be a big. Now, let's talk about this. I wanted to touch on this for a minute. Let's talk about the teams that have men and women in the tournament.
Okay. Well,
Alabama, UNC. Yeah. That's legendary. UConn.
Yes, right.
So do you think? Well, I have South Carolina going to Final Four in both brackets.
Well, I don't. I got them going in my women's bracket, obviously. But missionary supervisor, she got Duke all the way.
Tar Heels all the way. We love you though.
Let me bring this name up. Tamika Reed. Tamika Reed is the head basketball coach of Jackson State University. Yes. And Jackson State is a 14 seed in the women's tournament. They're not a 16 seed. They're not a 15. They are a 14 seed. Now they do got to play UConn.
Neither is Norfolk State. Neither one of our HBCUs got 16 seeds. Let's be thankful.
Exactly right. HBCUs came in. They put the NCAA committee putting some respect on their name. They looking at the body of work. They seeing the type of players and the caliber of talent they putting on the court, and they're giving them a higher seed. Now, granted, Jackson State has drawn UConn in the first round. I do not have them coming out of the first round.
Yeah, and Norfolk State, they have Stanford.
Yeah,
But
and I do not have them coming out of the first round.
you know,
However,
we want to shout out the coaches, Coach Vickers at Norfolk State. They are really doing their thing. They are getting the athletes. They are coaching, and so really from HBCUs from here go anywhere type of thing. You can make it to the big stage.
I completely agree with you there. And my final four is, and the women's is pretty predictable. I have just about all number one seeds.
Okay.
In the final four. My only one is UConn. I have UConn and Iowa.
Paige coming back. Paige coming back.
That's why I got UConn going as far, because if Paige is coming back, then they are a different team.
Yeah.
And that number 3 seed is scary. For USC, I do have USC losing to UConn in the Elite Eight. To UConn go to Final Four against Iowa, and I have South Carolina and Texas going against each other on the other side. So
now
one.
It's gonna be a good game.
Oh yeah.
That's a battle in the paint for that game, South Carolina and Texas.
I have Iowa and South Carolina in the championship.
Oh, so who you got winning?
I can't vote against Dawn. I can't go against Dawn. I mean, she gonna have them girls ready to play. There's no way in the world. No way in the world. Both men and women passed their. Oh wait,
they said Drake. Okay. All right.
He's a sleeper.
Okay.
We'll see. Let's see here. Both men and women programs at UConn won a championship in the same year twice.
Yes, 2 times.
2 times.
I mean, that's the parade I want to go to, though. If they win it both.
Yeah,
it's cold, but
I would hope that it'd be the Tar Heels, that both the girls and the guys.
We got to get to Franklin Street then. We got to get to Franklin Street.
I'm closer to Franklin Street than I am to Connecticut.
Okay. So, as you're submitting your teams, don't forget to fill out your brackets. Get them in by the deadline. I think it's tonight at midnight. We need them all in. South Carolina winners. Okay. We will acknowledge a winner. You got to come back. We're going to do play-by-play of both the men's and women's championship game. Dr. Fight and I will be your partners in crime again on that night. We'll have some special guests on that night. And of course, we're not going to tell you what the prize is today, but when we shout out the winners, you'll get a prize. So see if you can beat us. You can beat us. Maybe you might pick it better than us.
So the links have been put into the chat. So click on the link for both men and the women's bracket. Fill out your bracket, as Alexis has already eloquently stated. And we hope to see you for the women's championship. That is going to be April the 7th.
Yes, that is correct.
And so after church. So, Dr. B. Matt, you got to cut across the field. Join us April the 7th as we do a live show. We'll have, like she said, special guests, but we'll also be revealing other person's brackets. And for that to be the women's April 7th, and then the men's championship will be back on April the 9th. And so we hope that each and every one of you fill your brackets out. Click that link. If you have any issues, get your grandson or your granddaughter to help you with your compute and get your bracket filled out. And we'll be looking forward to an awesome time with you all during those championships.
Yeah, and the churches can have watch parties now. They can watch us at the church.
Yes,
that's an idea.
That is an idea.
Send us pictures if you're having a watch party at the church, in your home, wherever. Join us. Bring us in your home with your family. We like to be the life of the party. We're going to entertain you for another Courtside Chat Championship Game edition. We are looking forward to it. April 7th and April 8th. We will keep you posted on the game time. The men's game is in Arizona. The women's is in Cleveland. So, big shout out to those cities for hosting.
Big shout out. I wish I could get to one of them.
I might be. I wish I could go. I might.
You know, that'd be good if we can get tickets. Maybe we can talk to the Board of Bishops or DK. Maybe
Live from the Final Four.
Live courtside. I need courtside. I need courtside.
Courtside. I mean, only.
Live
I mean,
from the NCAA championships.
I think it's a great idea. Who do we need to say this to?
That's what I'm saying. Do we need to write a resolution? What we need to do?
And also, we have to shout out. This is the HBCU All-Star Game that hosts seniors from different HBCUs. Will also be in the Final Four in Phoenix for the men. Hopefully they'll start one for the women as well. But that game will be played on Sunday, the day before the national championship. I have a player from Winston-Salem playing in that game, so I got to shout out my alma mater, Winston-Salem State University. Go Rams. We had the player of the year, so I'm talking trash. I'm talking trash.
Well, Central not in the MEAC. The Central in the MEAC, they're not in the CIAA anymore. So big ups to Winston-Salem. As long as y'all ain't in the MEAC, we all right.
She said she wants to play. Come join us. You can play. You can play.
Yes. You are welcome.
Just don't beat us. We want to win. Ramley, yes. Missionary supervisor, yes. Ramley. We are Ramley. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Dr. Fight, do you have closing words? Do you have Tar Heels? We'll talk about
Go Heels. All the way. Go Heels. Obviously, but listen, anybody and everybody is welcome to click on those links and join us and be a part of the pool. I've had people ask me how much money on the table. This is free 99. You don't have to pay nothing. This free 99. We don't want to get nobody in trouble with their gambling problem.
No, we are not encouraging that.
It's free 99. But if you want to call me, and wear a Tar Heel jersey when my bracket beats you, and you're a Duke fan, just call me, and so I can take that picture. We can put that little side.
They can call both of us because Tar Heels all the way. I mean, I love Caleb Love. I love her, but I got to see RJ, and Baycoat got to find a way to get his name in the rafters.
Well, Baycoat done been at Chapel Hill for quite a long time.
He's a grown man.
Grown man.
We have some football play. We got to come back football season because we have some grown men still playing football.
Yeah, well, listen, football's a different breed. And they got a COVID year. You remember COVID year?
COVID.
So
it's almost over.
COVID year. He might come back. Baycock might come back for another year. It may be a grad student.
This is it. So you notice he had senior night last year. He got the white jersey. He got the baby blue jersey this year. I mean, they're gonna have to find a practice jersey to put in the frame then.
6-year players. That's right, Dr. B. Mac. We got 6-year players. We got any way we can get to the Final Four. We're gonna get there, baby.
Dr. Fight, you might want to call Clinton. You might could get on the team now.
I think I might got some credits left. Got some eligibility left.
Oh, see, my thumbs up came up. Thumbs up. See, I'm with it. I'm with it. We can do courtside chat at the game. How tired are you, Dr.
I'm a little older now. These knees don't do like they used to.
But we got to give one last shout out to Clinton College. Good luck.
Yes.
Go get that championship. Bring us back some hardware that we can show off. We can have a parade.
Hey, I got to talk to Dr. McCorn about that. Let's start. Well, we can't start planning now. We're going to the Final Four. And so Clinton College on their way to the Final Four. The men's team has had an awesome season. They won their regional championship. Now they're in the CCAA. Yes. They're in the Final Four. They won today in overtime. And so big ups to Clinton College, Coach Sloan, and the Golden Bears. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. I'm pleasured to be employed there. So thank you.
And we want to give a shout out to Dr. Brown too.
Yes, Dr. Brown will be joining us for the women's show April the 7th. So y'all join us. Dr. Brown will be with us for the women's show, and she also was a collegiate head coach, but I ain't gonna go into all of her stats. We'll talk about that later. We gotta put some respect on her name.
I wonder, you know, if Dawn wins, can we get her on the next for the men's championship? We got to find a way to get Dawn.
I mean, DK got to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? You got to send an official letter.
You know, somebody knows somebody.
Somebody got to know somebody.
Somebody. So we're gonna play our closing clip. Thank you for joining us. Join us again. We hope we've entertained you.
Yes.
We plan to beat you in all the brackets, though. Go Tar Heels. Go Gamecocks. So
I'm coming out number 1, baby.
Oh, not Marquette. I told you Marquette.
Well, I just showed y'all my bracket tonight, but I'm gonna make some changes tonight. So if y'all copy it,
don't try to copy me. Don't try to. You're already cheating.
Already. I'm gonna make a couple of switch ups.
See, I shouldn't have talked about Juju. I shouldn't have talked about Paid. See, I can't talk about it.
But don't even worry about it, because you know there's a couple of more sleepers I ain't even talk about tonight. But don't worry, we'll get into all of that as we get to the championship game and see how it all plays out.
Yes. Let's go to the closing clip for us to get hyped.